Ruben Amorim is known for maximising player roles and potential, concentrating on individual player development and establishing a clear vision and style of play for the team. Did we learn much from the first game against Ipswich? Not a great deal, but Manchester United did have moments where we could witness the Amorim blueprint. And since you're eager to know more about it, we'll briefly break down the tactics, and then I'll try and jump into my Ruben Amorim bag, replicate those tactics in Football Manager and see how well I perform over the season. So without the further hold up, let's jump in. Ruben Amorim might introduce Manchester United to the double movement tactic, where, just like Danish Iqbal on X pointed out, and we'll use his analysis as a reference, here with Casemiro and Eriksen marked and the opposition forward closing down Dalot, what worked against Ipswich is whenever Dalot stayed wide and high and Garnacho dropping, that dragged Tuanzebe out and then running off him to create space. There were also occasions where they managed to move the Ipswich fullback Davis wide towards Diallo and position Fernandes in the half space, but each time either the execution let them down or it was the decision making in the final third letting them down. Once more, we see the blueprint, but the execution weren't great. But Manchester United want to see more of that happening, as that is how they will score most of their goals under Ruben Amorim. As for the goal, Manchester United baited Ipswich's high press up the pitch, and when the fullback pressed Diallo, Fernandes was free in a half space, attracting Ipswich's centre-back, creating space for Diallo to burst into and cross for the goal. Out of possession, Amorim's teams fluidly adapt into two tactical setups, either a classic 4-4-2 or a 5-4-1 formation. In the 4-4-2 setup, his teams maintain a compact shape and extremely narrow back line. The 5-4-1 formation, more commonly used at Sporting, is a setup we can expect him to implement at Manchester United. With a structured 3-4-3 formation, a disciplined build-up, and an emphasis on versatile, aware players, Amorim has the potential to bring much needed stability and tactical clarity to Old Trafford. His approaches, using the adaptable 4-4-2 and 5-4-1 formations when out of possession, along with transitioning from a 4-2-4 to a 3-4-3 in possession, that is designed to control games, maximise space, and create a more fluid attacking style. Now, of course, there is more nuance to Ruben Amorim's system, but I did want to focus on just that one game and what we could see early on. But there are more things to watch out for as Manchester United get more tactically familiar with Amorim's systems. For an example, within the 3-4-3 during the high and low build-up, we may start to see a box midfield form in the centre of the pitch. The wingbacks stay wide, stretching the pitch and the spaces between the opposition lines, and just like we covered before, that allows the ball to get into those half spaces for the number 10s, but also it creates better angles for the deeper players to pass the ball forward. The wider centre-backs at Sporting, they did have the licence to dictate the ball and carry the ball through the lines. The front five tend to occupy all the 5 lanes, which tends to be the striker, the 2 number 10s and the 2 wing-backs, and this narrow attacking shape allows those wing-backs to make unmarked overlapping runs. Now, as I said, Ruben Amorim does like to focus on individual player development, which is exactly what we did in Football Manager using individual training. With Joshua Zirkzee, I did have plans to start Rasmus Højlund or Marcus Rashford up front. Having 3 strikers in a 1-striker system might be a bit overkill, so with Joshua Zirkzee, I am trying to retrain him as an attacking midfielder. With Højlund, we're focusing in the final third. Alejandro Garnacho, we're looking at his attacking movement, but again, retraining him to play attacking midfield, and we want to focus on his anticipation. On 10, not great. Amad Diallo, we all saw him against Ipswich playing that right wing-back role, so that's what we're going to retrain him in Football Manager as well, trying to get the best out of his dribbling and his pace in that wing-back role. Kobbie Mainoo, now in Football Manager, he's well-rounded, but again, we are trying to improve that anticipation and off the ball, just trying to read the game better and perhaps make us better in midfield. Manuel Ugarte is only 22 in Football Manager, and though his physical profile is not bad, we are still trying to improve it with his quickness. And lastly, we had to promote Lenny Yoro from the development team into the first team, and again, just like Manuel Ugarte, we are going to focus on his quickness. Them guys, they aren't playing in the Premier League beforehand, and now moving into the Premier League, they've got to get up to the physicalness of the league. But that's the player development all sorted. And spoiler alert, in January, I am looking to improve the squad. After the first 10 games, Ruben Amorim, and Manchester United sit on top of the Premier League, playing 11, winning 9, drawing 1 and losing 1. Manchester United fans, the Red Devils, they may not be too pleased with this, but we did lose to Manchester City in the Community Shield, but we also lost to Manchester City in the Premier League away though, so we do have to play them at home and we can get some payback. But we did get some great wins like the 6-0 win against Brighton, the 4-0 win against Wolves and 4-2 at Ipswich. And in that 6-0 win against Brighton, we really got to see Ruben Amorim's plan. So here's Ugarte on the ball, here's Lenny Yoro, and Ruben Amorim likes to play the ball in those central areas through the middle, and this is our plan as well in Football Manager. So here's Yoro on the ball, plays it back to De Ligt, and then we've got Ugarte and Casemiro in close proximity of one another, plays the ball into Rashford, Rashford lays it off to Bruno in that half space, but also notice Mazraoui as well, making that overlapping run on the right hand side. The ball doesn't go to him, it goes to Garnacho, through on goal, nice finish. Before I play this goal, this still shows the attacking shape during a positional attack. So as you can see, our front five is occupying all 5 lanes. Mazraoui, the right wing back on a wider area, so is Luke Shaw on the opposite flank. Then you got Bruno Fernandes and Mount occupying both half spaces, and then Rashford in the middle holding up the centre backs. Oh, he's just gonna hold on to the ball. Here's De Ligt. De Ligt has the ball, plays it into Mainu into Bruno Fernandes, and then because Fernandes is in that half space, he's sort of disorganized the Brighton's defense, and then that allows Rashford to make a run in behind. There's Rashi, and he slots it in. And that wasn't the only goal we get to see that. Here's Luke Shaw playing wide centre back, plays it into De Ligt. De Ligt is going to play it into Lenny Yoro, and now Lenny Yoro finds Ahmad. He cuts inside Mainu in that half space now. It's fluid. It is fluid. Here's Ahmad on the ball, a lot of dribbling from Ahmad. Back to De Ligt, back to Lenny Yoro. If the attack is not on, we won't force it, but here's Ahmad in space. Pulls it back to Lenny into Mainu. What a finish. But that was the start of the season. Manchester United currently on top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run to the 31st of January where we've made some signings, we've tried to improve this team, and we're going to see where Manchester United are at the end of January. We're back and played just over half of the season, where now Manchester United are second because Arsenal are on top, currently unbeaten. In the Europa League, we top that group where we are unbeaten. In the FA Cup, we've just knocked out Burnley, and we've reached the final of the Carabao Cup where we play Liverpool. During that time, as you can see, we had a very solid run, though we did lose at home to Arsenal, and we got absolutely battered away at Tottenham. I blame Bruno. It was only 1-0. We were still in the game. Bruno got sent off and everything crumbled. But who did we bring in order to try and improve this team? Which areas needed improving anyways? First off, I can tell you who we let go. We let go of Anthony. He's now on loan at Torino with an option for Torino to buy him. Hopefully they do. Joshua Zirkzee is another one who couldn't get into the team. We tried to retrain him as an attacking midfielder, but to be fair, we did bring in someone new. I won't tell you who, but there was Mason Mount, there was Bruno Fernandes, Alejandro Garnacho, who sort of got that priority in that role. So Joshua Zirkzee's game time was fairly low, and we needed some money, though we didn't get much. He's only on loan to Valencia. But we did manage to sell Tyrone Malaysia for 18.5 million, and that allowed us to bring in a new left wing back to help Luke Shaw. So the first of 2 signings is Miguel Gutierrez from Girona, very good player on Football Manager. He likes to move into channels. He's a bit of a complete wing back rather than just a out and out wing back. He likes to dictate tempo as well, and he cuts inside from the left wing. So we no longer have that player that wants to run wide of the ball and put balls into the box. Actually, he might just cut inside and link up with the central players. And the other player, of course, we had to go and get him, Viktor Gyökeres. Now, that allows us to actually retrain Marcus Rashford to play as our attacking midfielder who can just move out wide as well. And he could do similar things to what he would have done as that left winger, but now his starting position will be a lot more narrower and a lot less touchline play. Despite only playing 2 games, Viktor Gyökeres hasn't scored for us yet. Should we be worried? It's very unusual for him not to score. We'll see at the end of the season. Now, before I show you the final standings in the Premier League, I've got to show you these 2 great results in particular. Manchester City, we play them at home at the Old Trafford, smashing them 6-0. 6-0. But that weren't the only time, because when we played them in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup, we smashed them 9-3. No idea what happened in this game. Disclaimer, majority of these games, I'll say about 85%, was actually instant resulted. Of course, I wasn't playing every single game. We did lose to our rivals, Liverpool, away at Anfield, but we did beat Newcastle 9-0 as well. So some very high scoring games, but also some not so great losses like the one earlier against Tottenham, but also against Liverpool. The 6-0 win against Manchester City, as you can see, statistically, we didn't necessarily dominate the game with the ball. We dominated the game with chances. So we sort of sat back. It was sort of the perfect counter-attacking display for Manchester United. The first goal came from a set piece, Miguel Gutierrez whipping it in. The ball falls nicely to Mazraoui. Gutierrez has the ball, drives towards it, the goal, and lays in Rashford. Bruno Fernandes gets the second with a penalty, nicely placed. The third goal, Ruben Diaz and Walcott just dallying with the ball. Rashford gets the ball, plays it into Gyökeres, and wow, what a finish. Hopefully we see more of that. Rashford plays it into Gyökeres, a nice 1-2 around the corner. Rashford, again, a lot of luck here. A lot of luck. Manuel Ugarte getting further forward and just slotting it in. That was the fourth goal. Now for the fifth. Lovely play, build-up play. Gutierrez on the ball. I mean, that's why he likes to cut inside, eh? Here's the ball, plays it. Wow, Mazraoui just whipping it in first time, and Gutierrez getting into the box and smashing it past Ederson. So in the Premier League, we did win the league as Ruben Amorim comes in and walks the Premier League like a piece of cake, like it was nothing in his first year. We won 30 of the 38 games played. We drew 4 and we lost 4. Those 4 losses coming against Liverpool, Tottenham, Manchester City away, and then Arsenal at home as well. With this formation, I did find some difficulty in just playing well against the bigger teams away from home, as you can see with the results. The 4 draws as well, all away from home: Chelsea, Wolves, Forest and Palace. But there's a possibility that we could win the quadruple, because we are in the Europa League final, we are in the Emirates FA Cup final, and we've also beaten Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final 1-0. We sort of dominated that goal, Casemiro getting sent off in the 89th minute, giving the Red Devils a mini heart attack. But truth be told, it was one of those games that Manchester United dominated in, and it could have been more than one. The top goal scorers in this Manchester United squad, Bruno Fernandes. He was actually the top goal scorer with 19 goals and 19 assists in all competitions. Victor Gyökeres came in, outscored Marcus Rashford. He's got 20 in 27 games. I mean, hopefully Manchester United don't sign him in real life. Being a gooner. We also have Mason Mount, who I found actually fairly important in this system, mainly because of his mental attributes, but he's got 17 goals, 8 assists. And a nice shout out to Alejandro, 10 goals, 5 assists, 15 goal contributions in 31 starts with an average rating of 7.13. But what we are going to do now is break down the tactic, then play that Europa League final. Hopefully we win it. I will just skip the FA Cup final as well against Liverpool. I noticed we are the away side in that cup final, and if you believe in Football Manager stuff or Football Manager conspiracy theories, I mean, we are totally the away side in a cup final. But let's break down that tactic. So we can start with the shape and also the player roles. We have gone for that 3-4-3, but the narrow version, rather than 2 wingers, we've gone for 2 number 10s. At the back, we have 2 ball-playing defenders, and sort of sandwiched in between them, we've got the central defender. The 2 ball-playing defenders' instructions are to pass it shorter. On the left-hand side, we've got Dribbler, so I want him to take that pass first option, whilst on the right-hand side, he has more of the license to bring the ball forward. On wing-backs, we do have a wing-back, or both wing-backs, on attack on the left-hand side, pass it shorter, dribble more, stay wider. On the right-hand side, similar, but on the right hand side we are trying to cross the ball more often. In midfield, we are using a defensive midfielder on support, passing it shorter and tackling harder, and he's supported by the Secondo Volante, who actually does support the attacks from time to time as well. And that helps because Bruno Fernandes won't be the most direct attacker. He's going to be an attacking midfielder on support, playing more direct passes, taking more risk, moving into the channel, but also marking a specific position, marking the left back. Now what I did notice when playing some of the games, just a handful of the games, I noticed that the opposition's fullbacks or wingbacks sometimes just had the field day. They will just make runs forward and will not be tracked back. So we are trying to get Bruno Fernandes to help Diallo, or the right wingback, on the right hand side, and Marcus Rashford will be doing the same on the left hand side. Again, more direct passes, staying wider, marking that fullback, and then lastly up top, we got Victor Gyökeres as an advanced forward. I tried pressing forward, I tried complete forward, I tried many things. Advanced forward sort of just gave me the best performance. And as we saw in the clips, the striker won't necessarily hold the ball up, but he'll still play those first time passes to players making runs off him, like we saw the 1-2 with Marcus Rashford. Instructions, balance mentality. I moved this higher to control a lot, especially in home games against the weaker sides. Attacking width is fairly narrow, so we are trying to play the ball or guide the ball through the middle, but not religiously. Approach play, overlap on the left, overlap on the right. Focus play down the left and right. Truth be told, again, this is more Football Manager match engine performing instructions, the focus down the play, rather than saying this is exactly what Ruben Amorim does. Passing directness, we've kept it in the middle on balance, and then with this tempo we have gone for slightly higher while running at the defense. Weirdly, in a back three system, I have found playing slightly more direct than the typical go-to short passing and high tempo. Actually playing more direct in the back three, it helped me. I don't know about you guys, but it helped me. In transition, we are counter-pressing and counter-attacking while rolling the ball out with the goalkeeper distribution. And lastly, out of possession, we are high pressing with the much higher defensive line, trigger press more often and get stuck in. Now, given our mentality isn't that high, our high press isn't that intense neither. So we aren't standing, or when we're trying to defend, we're not right at the halfway line and squeezing the opposition right up the pitch. Due to our mentality, we are also dropping back, and we see that in a lot of the games, like that counter-attacking display against Manchester City. I didn't really have an away version. Sometimes I would just go to cautious and play more direct passes, but as you saw with the results, we didn't actually play that great away from home against the top teams. So for this tactic, I will suggest you being a top team is not one for underdogs. Now I've got that out of the way, let's play this final against Milan. And I want to grab my headphones because I need the music, I need the sound, I need the atmosphere. So this is the team that we are going to go with. I mean, we're entering a cup final without our strongest team. Lindelof is out, though he wasn't in the starting lineup. Miguel Gutierrez isn't fit, the same as Matthias de Ligt. Luke Shaw is completely out, meaning we have to play Diego Dalot at left wing back, and Bruno Fernandes is also out with a slight injury. So Mason Mount in, Diallo at right wing back, Lenny Euro, Maguire and Martinez as our back three. Let's get stuck into this game. So we are gonna pump our fists, go out there and prove to everyone why we should be winners. For the system itself, we are going to leave it, and then we're just gonna see how the game goes. Actually, I want to prevent Milan from playing out from the back. This is another thing that against big teams as well, we sort of just sat back completely and teams were able to play through us. So actually you might want to prevent the short goalkeeper distribution on. I might just put that in the downloaded tactic anyway. So we're here, the starting lineups, the Europa League theme music is blazing. Don't know if you guys can hear it, I've turned it up now. Go Ruben, go Ruben, go Ruben, go Ruben. Decent team Milan have. Even better team Manchester United has, in my humble opinion. 10 minutes in and Milan have not only sort of dominated the momentum, they've also dominated the possession. Here's the lot. Plays it into Gyökeres. Look at him holding up the ball and playing it off. Like I said, the advanced forward, he might not necessarily just always look to hold up the ball, but he still does it. Diallo, and there's Gyökeres! The goal is going to VAR. That's against the run-up play as well. Manchester United 1, Milan 0. Milan have been dominating this game, chances-wise, possession-wise, but it is United with the opening goal. To be fair, Milan have 7 shots. 4 have been blocked. 2 have been long shots as well. There we are, half-time, Manchester United leading by some fortune, by some luck, and as you can see here with the possession numbers as well. And if we do look at the heat map, though we are using a high press, we are still fairly deep. I think we could push up a little bit more. Garnacho may also have to come on at halftime. Oh, playing support. You know what? We're going to put him on attackers as well. That actually might allow us to put Yorkadesh as a supporting player now looking to hold up the ball more religiously. Out of possession, which is maybe it is the trigger press. Maybe that can go higher, though I don't always like to pull it all the way high because you can't necessarily control it. You know what? We're going to go with positive mentality. Hopefully the boys just look to play more aggressively. So we've started the second half a lot brighter, a lot stronger. Those changes may actually help us play a little better. Milan are now starting to get back into the game. The possession numbers are sort of remaining the same. Milan with 60% of the ball, but here is Martinez. Here's Onana. But we can see here, so if I go back again into the match engine, I mean, we're in a decent position defensively. But as you can see that our front three engaging, they are fairly deep. It's the front three engaging are fairly deep. But Marcus Rashford wins the ball, plays it to Martinez, back to Onana. Our front three could, back three, sorry, could spread a little bit there. Here's Lenioro. Oh, look at the football. Here's Ahmad. Plays it into Garnacho. Garnacho into Marky. Oh, it's gone wide. And we are now approaching the final whistle. Milan can't believe they've lost this. But it is Manchester United who are about to lift the Europa League trophy. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. So that makes it the treble, the Premier League, the Europa League, and also the League Cup. Lift the trophies, boys. You deserve it. So does Ruben Amorim. Let me taste that trophy. Let me taste it. Let me taste it. But we have now beaten Milan in the final. So what I'm going to do right now as well, I'm going to rest these players, but we're also just going to quickly instant result that Liverpool game and see how well we can do in that game. Look at the lot. Oh, the lot. Mason Mount in second. Hi. All right, let's get into that game. Hopefully no injuries as well. What also happens with me tends to be an injury just before a big game, and we've managed to avoid it. See, this is what I'm now with the away team, and I do believe in that superstition, that conspiracy theory. We're going to get Lenny Euro back in as well. Oh, look at the players missing, man. Look at the players. Marcus Rashford's missing. Oh, my. So we're going to go cautious. We're going to play a little bit more direct, but we're also going to try and... There's not much I can do here. Let's change this to press and forward. Let's just try and... Let's hopefully he can lead the attack and the press. Hey, it ended 0-0. But Manchester United did lose out on penalties to Liverpool. So unfortunately, we didn't win all the trophies. Yeah, Liverpool dominated. Liverpool did dominate. There's just something about playing the bigger teams in this tactic, which, again, still, we are defending a bit deep. So, tactically, maybe it is just best for you to be much more pressing and then prevent short goalkeeper distribution. I'm happy I get to show you just how deep we are when defending in this back three, because if I gave you a formation or a tactic like this, many people may disagree and say, well, they don't really defend much higher. They don't put all their pressing all the way up. But in Football Manager, the match engine and the way it behaves, it may be something that you'd have to look at and try and apply. Unless you are happy of just sitting back and allowing those teams to sort of try and play through. But for me, I like to be more proactive. Sometimes I don't like how the defending is in the back three. But that wraps up the tactic. Don't forget, with this tactic, make sure you do use a good team. Don't believe you can be an underdog and try and win things using this thing. It is designed for a team like Manchester United and with the players Manchester United have. So that unfortunately wraps up the video. I've been away for so long. I will address that in my next video. My next video is likely going to be the tactic that I won Premier League with Birmingham. So many of you guys would have seen me stream a Birmingham save. We got promoted to the Premier League in our first season in the Premier League. We crazily won the league, and I would like to show that and share that tactic with you guys as well, where in that video I will give a channel update. Don't worry, nothing bad. I ain't going nowhere. you're going to start to see me a lot more. Stay safe, people. Stay safe, guys. Thank you for the Patreons who stayed with me, stay supporting through this difficult time for me as well. So I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe. God bless. Peace out.